Hey guys, Brian Good here on this Friday. Overall, I will say this as we go through the blog here today. I'll try to be fairly quick again. Keep in mind there is still a lot of questions we need to answer for the long term, Thanksgiving week in particular. Next week we'll have more data to work with. Right now I can only just give you a little bit more broader idea of what I'm looking at and things I'll be watching over the weekend, but nothing to get too excited about yet. Just know the pattern is wanting to shift. We just got to figure out exactly what that shift will be and how long will that stick around. Today, though, it's been a cold day. We got these high-level clouds streaming overhead. Look at this. I love this in the visible satellite. Look at the lake effect snow. Let me turn off. Hopefully this will show up good. If I turn off the infrared and just show the visible. Oh, right there. Let me stop it so you see the light. Look at that. You don't get to see that much detail with the old satellite, but the new GO 16, ooh, that is awesome. That's why they call these Finger Lake type of bands here to coming off of that's Superior that's coming off of there. So beautiful lake effect snow. All right, look at the banner for us. It's 35 degrees and the wind 15, gust in 24. Our current wind chill is 26 in Louisville, 15 in Seymour. It's cold. I mean, it's nothing brutal, but it's just been a while. So when you get that cold, everybody thinks, oh no, we got to start getting our heads in that mold of cold weather. I don't like cold weather when there's nothing falling from the sky. I want snow. But I'm biased. And a lot of you that are watching this are likely biased, so you want to be watching me right now. All right, forecast for us of the day. We're going to stay in the 30s. Wind chills should be in the 20s and 30s. Well, it's going to be a cold day despite the sun. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you. All right, before I get into the setup here for next week, the new long-term Euro came out. I'm not able to show you all the maps, but just a few. It is showing the cool pattern for the end of November. Coldest up here into Western Canada, warmer west. Here we go, mid-December. It tries to show the cold wants to relax a bit, and we get a little bit more of a milder setup. And then as we get to Christmas, we're back to a colder, what looks like a negative NAO setup in the eastern seaboard. Just wanted to share those fun little tidbits. Now let's talk about the actual models for next week. Here's the Euro first. Shows the front for Sunday with rain. The model glitches here. Doesn't catch up again until Thursday. I don't know why, but there will be a wave of rain Wednesday and Thursday. Then here comes the wild part, because you're seeing the temperatures, by the way, the colors in the background, the green there is the rain. Look what happens as we head into Saturday. Friday and Saturday, one heck of a warm front moves in. Warm sector, low pressure. I mean, these lines are so close together. We're talking about a lot of wind. A lot of wind next Friday and Saturday. Warm wind here, cold wind here there. Obviously, we got to think in terms of severe weather, but I can't answer that this far out. It's really impossible, but we at least see one ingredient, wind, we need to watch out for. And then we get into what, I mean, this would be a flat-out blizzard for Minnesota, parts of Wisconsin, if this were to become valid. For us, it would be rain, thunder. Typically, when you get a low that wound up, the chances of it going to rain to snow is pretty slim. I'll account for it for now, but I really think this is the cold air is going to catch up right as we dry the column out. So we just need to watch in the upper low. How much of that upper low will dig in behind it, and we'll see what that can do. Right now, the Euro tries to wrap up the upper low pretty good. Based on the somewhat progressive pattern we're in. Therefore, we may just go sunny and cold and not have anything fall. That's possible. Again, that's around the 19th. We'll see if that plays out. Now, let me show the GFS. It has the front again for this weekend. Here we go, that wave of rain on Wednesday. Now, it has the same idea. Here comes the warm surge Thursday and Friday, but it brings the front in quickly. Rapid movement of this front. It tries to wrap it up, but it's fairly progressive. In fact, progressive enough, it even tries to build another ridge into the area before what's just beyond this frame. Another low digs in with another round of wind and rain to snow, potentially. That'll be Tuesday, or the busiest travel day there on the 22nd. So what seems to be happening is the Euro sees basically one system coming in and digging, maybe a clipper rounding the base of it. The GFS is progressive. It digs it in, moves it out, brings the next bad boy. But they all want to dig enough to where they impact us. That would mean for us, if the GFS were to be valid, we're talking about a very wild pattern, extreme ups and downs, and a wide range of weather events to track in our region anyway. Euro's a little more of a, it's intense as far as the dynamics of it, but it's not as active as far as the systems coming through. And I think the problem is the models are having trouble figuring out if we have one system or two systems. How many different waves are coming our way, and is the pattern going to lock in and block, which would be the negative NAO, and lock in enough, and then the systems round the trough. When the pattern digs in, then you get the clippers that round about it instead of the trough moving out, and then you get another low that moves in and creates another ridge and then trough, if that makes sense. So that's the difference in the two models right now. When you look at the GFS for the next weekend time period, it's got the higher heights over here closer to Greenland. It's got the negative heights off the coast, but the thing is, you got negative heights still in a good chunk of Canada. You want more of the higher heights over central Canada. You want the high heights over here, that way you can build in the cold underneath it. That's what you want. So this is more of an East Coast based, what we call East Coast NAO. It's a negative NAO, but it's East Coast based, which puts us always tough on the edge. When you look toward Thanksgiving, it tries to build the heights a little more now over Canada, which would then allow for the cold air to dig in. This would be, I think, a much more of a colder signal for Thanksgiving if the GFS and SOMLs are right near that time. When you look at the Euro for next weekend, it's very similar. I mean, it's got the heights mainly over Greenland, and it's got some lowering heights there in Western Canada, but it's still an East Coast-based look to it. And then you get toward Thanksgiving. Did I change the model? I guess it changed. Let me back up. If I didn't lock it up. I thought I put in the new one, but maybe I didn't. Either way, it's not that dramatic. It still looks like an East Coast kind of deal. So that means we got some challenges on the progressive pattern on this, and I wish this was clear. I apologize. But the couple things here. The Arctic Oscillation, AO, you want that to be negative, below the black line. And the models, oh, that's weird. Let me change that. You can tell it's Friday. My computer's all over the place here, or I am. The Arctic Oscillation, negative. It tanks on GFS. It's a cold signal for us. It means the polar vortex is on the move. NAL, negative. That means there's going to be a blocking. It means these cold patterns are going to be able to dig. The problem is, are they going to be able to last? And here's where the problem is. The PNA seems to give fits here. If it were to go positive, I think we'd have much more of a deeper trough over the Ohio Valley and some clippers. If it stays negative, then we're going to end up with a little more of a battle of an East Coast digging, and we may feel the effects of it trying to lift out at times. And that's what the model is trying to do on both of them, really. It's really struggling with that idea. So, guys, here's how I'm going to play it out for us. I'm just going to give at least the potential for maybe some rain into this flurries next weekend as that one low moves in. And then whether or not we have a second one or not, we'll see. I'll at least account for it there on the 22nd. And we'll see how it looks coming up over the weekend, certainly on Monday. But a lot of questions, guys, and then answers to be expected this far out. It's a very dynamic pattern, though, that's for sure. So we have some challenges ahead of us. So enjoy the somewhat nice weekend, and then we'll worry about this later. All right? See you later. Have a good one.